Hi everybody, this is Bill. I want to talk to you about a very cool product out there. And for those of you who want to do it or want to buy it or want to use it, I just want to give you some overview and then I'll steer you in some direction as how to get these done or how to create them yourself. One of my greatest concerns is we have a very cool and effective tool that's being used out there for marketing and for information distribution. The only problem is it's becoming so easy to do it that a lot of people are doing it poorly. And I think we have a possibility that it's going to be so overdone so poorly that it's going to lose its effectiveness. So I like to do what I can to contribute to the community and help you guys understand how to do video scribing or how to do scribed videos or whiteboard videos. You've probably seen them before where it's a simple little drawing presentation while someone's talking in the background. I want to talk about the do's and don'ts, the how to do these things correctly, and some of the things to look for. Um, there's a really cool tool out there right now that makes it very simple for a subscription fee of just 14 to 20 bucks a month. I'm not sure what the price is, but it's pretty cheap. For a subscription fee, you can actually use their tool to draw your presentations in. And I did this one in just a few minutes, and you can see that it's very simple outline drawing, and while you're talking in the background, it does a really good job of keeping people's attention. And so I'm going to talk about what you can do right and what you can do wrong. A lot of times people are drawing and putting things on the page that have nothing to do with the subject matter. That's taboo number one. Unless of course you're using drawing as an example. You know, we're talking about drawing. It really doesn't matter what we're drawing. But if you're talking about marketing or sales and you're drawing a picture of a little baby in the crib, there's a disconnection, a disassociation with your words, and it just frustrates people. They're like, what's going on here? It's just it disconnects them. That's the number one thing. Don't put stuff in your video that has nothing to do with your conversation. Number two, and probably one of my greatest pet peeves in this whole surrounding marketplace, is the font that people use and the types of drawings that they use. What we're trying to do with this technique is we're trying to emulate drawing on a whiteboard. Now, anyone that understands the technology and the marketing realizes that a lot of these things are faked, but you still need to make it look like, at least make an attempt to use fonts that look like you're drawing on a board. If you were to go and take, here for example, if you were to take something like this and draw it out, it's not very likely that someone who's making a presentation on a board is going to go through the trouble of making a perfect outline. Or even worse, a fat font that doesn't even work with your subject matter, or a font. Some of these actually use fonts. Let me see if I can find one. Some of them use like a Times Roman font with serifs on it, and it just looks like somebody typed it on the screen. And it's just not likely that your marker or the person that's drawing it is going to use it. So use a font that looks like a script. There's some really good ones out there. Sometimes it's not too hard to make some minor changes to the program to do what you want to do. So that's item number one, is use fonts and images that look like they were drawn. If you're going to take a picture, especially a color photo, there's a way to draw these things so that they're outlines and then fill in the color. It's very time consuming. Sometimes if you want a color image or you want a color photo, use the photo slide tool. Take the hand and drag in a photo so it looks like there's someone sliding an image on the screen if you're going to use full color images. Because again, it's not likely that someone's going to paint an entire picture on a whiteboard with perfect photo detail. Make it look like someone's actually doing the work and try and make it as realistic as possible. Timing is really important, especially when you're drawing your fonts or when you're drawing words. It's better to have, if you have a long sentence or you have a long paragraph, just use a couple key words so you actually get the feel of it being drawn out. You don't have to do the entire sentence. You don't have to do the entire paragraph. You want the feel of the writing. And writing is probably more powerful when it's highlighted anyway. People don't want to read all of the words they're hearing it anyway. It doesn't make any sense for you to put every single word in your sentence. It seems to work better when you have an outline drawing to speed it up than it does with words. If you speed up the spelling out of words, it looks like the hand just splashes across the screen and the words just show up magically. it's not a very good look for your program. Um, when it comes down to drawing outlines, here's something that took 20 seconds. I'm going to take it all the way down to 7. It's a very complicated item. You can take it all the way down to 7 and show you how it's drawn out using about a quarter of the speed, and it still looks pretty good. You can see that drawing a detailed object and speeding up doesn't hurt the drawing. So there's a couple pointers for you. On the next, I want to talk about white space. I want to talk about timing. I want to talk about how the board moves in and out, where it's actually called the screen, or in this program, it's actually called the camera. You can actually set the camera, how it should scroll, and what should be included on each image. You know, when it scrolls from image to image, how much of the last image should you see? I'm going to talk about some of the details in that area, but those are the main things. If you just make sure that the font and the image looks like something that was drawn on the screen, use a little bit of insight when it comes to timing, and use a font that looks like a drawn font. Don't use Times Roman and sans serif and serif fonts that look like they were typed on the screen. So there's a beginning, an intro to whiteboarding or video scribing. I hope that helps you guys get started. Let me know if you need any help. Go ahead and put some comments on the video. Thanks a lot.